if you're not able to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, because there are things you can do to what you currently own. Changing hemlines, changing shoes, changing jackets, small changes that can be done with a tailor to utilize what you currently have in your wardrobe. You have those core pieces in mind that you have. So now when all of you go to a tailor tomorrow to have them fitted to fit you perfectly, these are the tips I want you to keep in mind. So for men, jacket hem should fall between the thumb and index finger. So when you're standing with your arms straight, jacket lengths should fall here. Not any longer and not any shorter.
You couldn't see it.
Can't see me. So thumb and index finger.
Oh.
That's how, for men, that's how long the jacket wants to be. The trend right now is shorter jackets. So be very wary of wearing the long 3-button suit jackets that many of you may have in your closet. Shirt cuffs should extend jacket cuff about 1 inch. So we want our shirt cuff to extend our jackets 1 inch for men. Your pant hem should hit the top of the heel of your shoe. Your belt leather should match your shoe leather. Your forefinger should fit in between your collar and your neck. So your collar, when it's buttoned up and you have the tie on, yes, your forefinger should fit. As your weight fluctuates, as your skin changes, you need to be buying new shirts so that they fit you. They asked me to throw in some tips about interviewing younger. I split them up between men and women. And I like to think about not interviewing younger, but just interviewing currently. So we talked earlier about connecting with who you're interviewing with, connecting with future people who are going to be on your team, connecting with your culture. So what can you do to not be younger, but just connect with who you're making an impression on? So for men, and this goes against what Linda said earlier, wear an updated watch. So I agree with what you're saying. Many people, especially women, younger women aren't wearing watches anymore. Younger men still very much are. But men have very few options for styling. They have a suit, they have a shirt, they have a tie. And when you really want to articulate some of those attribute words, so if you're interviewing in advertising, marketing, graphic design, and you need to show that you're creative, there's not much you can do with your black suit. So you can do that with a watch. So wearing an updated watch. Flat front trousers are a must. That's no exception. Nice leather shoes without rubber soles. Choose a 2-button jacket as opposed to a 3-button jacket, and only button the top button. And choose a skinnier tie. The tie that you choose should be proportionate with your body. I'm not saying go out and buy the skinny ties that J. Crew has, but think about the ties that you currently have. The trend years have been a wider width tie. Choose one that's a little narrower. Men have to work harder to incorporate clothing trends into their looks. That means choosing key pieces that are able to articulate some of those brand attribute words are very important to do in the accessories that you are able to wear, such as cufflinks and watches. Dress for the job that you want next. So many people who are currently in a position dress for the position that they have and they're going to every day. Always dress for the job you have next. Dress how your supervisor dresses or your boss dresses, the job you aspirationally hope to be into soon. Use a full-length mirror at home. Fragrance is great outside of work, especially when interviewing. You should not be wearing fragrance to an interview. One, you can be remembered by it in a negative way, and you don't want to be remembered by how you smell. You want to be remembered by your abilities and what you're able to do and how you sound and speak and look in the interview. At some point in our careers, it is best to have a custom wardrobe, to have pieces that fit you perfectly, that represent you perfectly. If you cannot do that, size up and have it fitted. Alterations are much cheaper than a custom wardrobe, but it will ensure that your clothing fits properly. So these are just a few pieces that I wanted to mention that will also help update a wardrobe. For men, I put a picture of creative cufflinks up there. Cufflinks, I always hear that people think cufflinks aren't appropriate for interviews, that it looks too flashy, or I'm not going to a wedding, or this isn't a black tie. Cufflinks are absolutely appropriate for interviews, and it is a great way, as I mentioned before, and sometimes the only way that you're able to show a little bit about yourself. Also for men, I put a picture of a dress shirt because you want to be looking for modern fit dress shirts. Your shirt should be able to tuck in completely. It shouldn't blouse in out similar to what a women's shirt can do over their pants. You want there to be seams in the back that can be taken in, and you want your shirt to be slimming, to be fitted. Collar stays. When you are wearing a suit jacket, your collars can flip up. It can look messy. That can look wrinkled, or you didn't press your shirt that day. So collar stays are huge. The last, which is always hard to sell to clients, which is the men's Spanx undershirts. They are not for compression. It's not like women's Spanx where it's compression. It is a light, slim-fitting shirt that allows that you cannot see under a shirt. So if you're wearing a suit and you're buttoning your shirt all the way up to the top and you're wearing a tie, your undershirt should be a crew neck. If you are wearing the shirt unbuttoned and the first two buttons are going to be unbuttoned, your shirt should be a V. You should never, even though you should always have an undershirt on, no one should ever know that you have an undershirt on. You don't want to be able to see it. You don't want it to ruffle by your shoulders underneath the shirt that you're wearing.